Welcome to our summer series where Adobe gives you the latest tools and tips to help you keep your creativity flowing all year round. We're doing that by practicing Createfulness. What is Createfulness? Well, it's the practice of bringing in full awareness to your personal creative journey outside of work in order to refuel, create, and go further with it. Over the rest of the summer, we'll be sharing how to approach your creativity with a fresh perspective, how to practice new creative skills, and how to turn these actions into better creative habits. So let's dive right in and get started. Today, I'm joined by some incredibly talented designers from Vasava Studio. Please meet Bruno and Rita, and in a second, we'll also meet Alex. Before we start, can you give us a little bit of information about what is Vasava Studio?
Sure.
Okay.
We're like a multidisciplinary studio. We do graphic design, packaging, branding, a whole array of projects. And we have multiple creatives that kind of complement each other, basically.
And what specifically do you guys do?
I am creative director and founder of the studio.
And I'm an art director and graphic designer.
All right, so basically we have some people with us who are going to show how they approached Createfulness this summer. So our creatives at home would like to know, how do you keep up creative lifestyle outside of work? How do you keep motivated? What do you do?
For me, I think it's more about breaking the habit and doing different things. Trying different creative disciplines, either ceramics or screen printing, and just getting out of your comfort zone, basically. I think it's very important to experiment.
How about you, Bruno?
Yeah, actually, I think that the creative mind never takes a break. So even though if you are on holidays or vacations or things have to slow down, your mind keeps thinking things, and you have to take advantage of this and do more projects and try to improve your skills and do your own small projects and things to really evolve as a creator.
Yes. Passion projects are so important, and it's very important also to take the time to go out of your comfort zone and to participate in projects such as this one that we're going to be showing you. And one last question before we get into the project. Do you have like a creative mantra, a motto that you tell yourselves to keep going?
Well, not a specific one daily, but we came up with one for this specific project. That is play hard, dale duro. It's kind of a mix between the English and the Spanish, which are the main languages at Vasava. And it kind of brings that idea up of playing hard and bringing your best self, your best creative to the table and pushing it really hard.
All right, so this is what we want you to do as well. Play hard this summer. So how do we unleash your creativefulness this summer? What we've done is we've worked together with Erik Spiekermann, who's shared with us some elements from his private collection. All the illustrations you see are Erik's, and also some typographic elements that come from Tipoteca from northern Italy. So the mix of these two things, the illustrations and the typography, will be some very good foundation for your creativity this summer. So of course, you two also got these same elements that our users will also get. And do you want to tell us a little bit about what you found and how you discovered them and what you did with them?
Well, we instantly became attracted to before typography. It's a work we admire from a long time.
Yeah, it's a classic from Cassandre, the French designer and typographer.
Yeah. So we kind of identified we want to work with this, no doubt, and started selecting some other graphics, not to use them entirely as a whole piece, but taking like some textures or particular things, details we liked to use them.
And as we discover the work, we'll also see that it's very important not to take these images literally all the time. You can take pieces of them, you can deconstruct them, you can reinterpret them. And this is really one of the first rules of Createfulness is that we need to discover the things from the past and reinterpret them for a more modern design. And this is exactly what Vasava Studio have done.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that all the elements are super detailed, but they have this quality of a vintage piece, and the texture it creates is super interesting. So we have isolated small parts of it, and we have used it in a very organic way on our design.
It's completely different from a digital asset, and having that grainy goodness, it kind of makes it different, bringing like the whole school.
This is something that was impossible in the past, right? Because these were fixed elements, right? That you could only move by hand and like put together.
In the past you were restricted by the physical shape of it, so the block has this size, so you have to use it at this size. But now with the tools we have, we can stretch it, we can distort it, we can combine it in different parts, we can even isolate some parts of it, so it's super versatile, the kind of things we can do with that.
And that's exactly the second rule of Createfulness, is that now we have the tools that didn't exist in the past that let us be more creative, more createful. I just made up another word. So yes, talk to us a little bit about how you approached the project. What are the steps you took to get to your vision?
So, like I said, we started with the before blocks. These are the original ones that formed the type.
That's pure gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And we kind of took them apart and deconstructed them to form a new approach. And here the main difference, like you were saying, now we were able to change proportions, to stretch, to all of these different things. And that's what we did. We have now different weights, different concentration of lines, which gives us different grays as well, different
texture.
Yeah, makes it a lot more playful and gives it a good rhythm, a good groove to the composition, I guess.
Play hard.
Play hard.
That was your summer motto, right?
Yeah, it's play hard, dale duro.
Dale duro, yes.
Yeah.
Both of them. So, of course, this is in Illustrator. That's where you work with your vector graphics.
Exactly.
And then, yeah, go ahead.
we took it apart here, got it together as a vector, and then went on to Photoshop, where we got the type together with the backgrounds. So now we played more with the illustrations. We also took them apart and put them in a library. These are all the different assets we selected.
So these are vector elements inside of the Creative Cloud library.
Exactly. We shared these elements between the team, and each one of us worked on different backgrounds. And it's these elements you can see here, actually. This is like a wheel from a car. This is the sea of a landscape, and just this kind of looks like a brush, but it's not. It's like a small detail from another composition. And yeah, we made up different backgrounds with different colors. We wanted to make it punchy and quite summery as well. And yeah, we played also with...
We play a lot with the colorways, trying to find something that is very summery and really...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. They're different between them, but you can see they're part of the same family because they have the same kind of texture, the same feel, and yeah, overall I think they fit together. But they fit better together when you see them animated, because...
Yes, and Alex will be showing that in just a second. But just one quick question about the teamwork. Can you just explain a little bit how you organized the work and how it all started? How did the idea spark?
For these kind of projects that we have a lot of liberty and freedom to create, we explain the brief to the whole design team, and everyone starts working in the ideas. At the beginning, we for example, we set up the rules like, okay, we are going to work with before, or we are going to work with this illustration. So everyone tries to make something that proves his vision about the project. And then we meet up, we check the results of everyone, and we decide, okay, this is what is the best of it. So once we have done this, everyone starts working on the same direction. So we distribute in different tasks, and we use, for example, the library, the sharing tools we have, and we work together trying to push the same piece of artwork.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And because Vasava Studio never stops at just a static image, they also worked in a little animation to show off that artwork. And we're going to be looking at this in just a second. And this is really the third rule of createfulness. And that's the rule of going further. And this is what we want you to do this summer as well. Well, here's Alex. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
Welcome to this video. And do you want to explain a little bit about you, what you do at Vasava?
So I'm a art director, animator, and illustrator at Vasava, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Alex is the third part of that creative trio that worked on this Createfulness project. And Alex took it a step further. He went beyond what was asked for. And this is, one of the third rules of Createfulness is go further. And so what inspired you to go further?
So with all the elements that we'd created in Photoshop, I thought it would be amazing for us to be able to give it some life, give it some personality, and using After Effects we were able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to show us a little bit how you approached the project?
We have the animation here, and whilst it looks very complicated with all these layers, we've just broken it down. So if you look here, we can see that all the letters are animated as such. It's all very simple rotation, playing with scale to build these letter forms, like so. And we've also done the same with each of the backgrounds. So as you can see in the composition, we have various transitions to show how they all interact.
So basically you took the work from Rita, the static Photoshop layers, which you named, by the way, which is
very handy.
Very handy, which probably made Alex's life much easier.
Hell of a lot easier.
And yes, and you took those elements and animated them in After Effects. I think that's really, really awesome. Do you want to show the final version of it?
Yeah, of course.
There's never a final version, but
There's always revision.
Dale duro, play hard. And if there was music to that, what music would you imagine?
Something very summery, a bit reggaeton.
How does summery sound?
I don't know, just very positive, energetic, yes.
Talking about the summer, since this is almost a personal project, this is not really an agency project. When it's summer, all you want to do is relax and have a good time. How do you keep the creative juice flowing? I mean, how do you keep inspired? How do you get the strength?
Yeah, for me, I feel like living in Barcelona, there's just such a creative community and there's always stuff going on. So I think it's amazing to just soak all of that in and just meet all of these people and just inspire one another. So I think it's a great way to work.
Barcelona sure is a very inspiring city. So just to recap, so what happened here is that you guys took these elements that Erik Spiekermann provided and used them first in an Illustrator artwork, so using the vector data and putting them together to form the letter forms to write play hard and dale duro. And then took this whole project into Photoshop, still using Creative Cloud libraries, and pulling in all of the different elements. And one interesting thing that I want to reiterate here is that some of these illustrations that Erik Spiekermann provided, which come from his private collection, you don't necessarily need to use those as they are. You can do like Vasava Studio and deconstruct them, take pieces of them, and get inspired by them. And then one step further that Alex took, he actually animated the whole thing. So taking Rita's Photoshop document and putting it together in After Effects and animating it. Okay, so that's the one step further. But in this project, of course, we're going to be asking you to create a poster. And well, that's great work.
Thank you
Thanks
so
to
much.
all three of you, to Bruno, Rita, and Alex from Vasava Studio, and help creatives out there, how to discover, how to remain creative during the summer days. That's it from us here today. We'll be back very shortly with a new video tutorial featuring Victor and Julien from Adobe Studio, who will be creating a motion graphic. So make sure to join us then. And until then, it's your turn to put your skills into practice. And check out how you can do that over here at adobe.com. And until next time, bye.